We begin today by acknowledging that the land on which we gather is the traditional territory of the Woodstock-Week. These territories are covered by treaties of peace and friendship of Woodstock-Week people, first signed with the British Crown in 1725. I now call our meeting to order. Attendance has been taken. Approved of the agenda.
Bob Powell, Armato, Marty Forsyth.
Any discussion? Ready for the question? All those in favor? Any opposed? Motion carried. Are there any conflict of interest for disclosure today? Nope. We'll move on now to number 5, the committee reports. Finance Committee, Director Corey, please.
The Finance Committee met, thank you. The Finance Committee met on December 15th, 2025. The meeting was called to order at 12 o'clock. Ms. Langan reviewed the attached staff report detailing 2025 projections and the staff recommendations for year-end reserve transfers. The committee discussed the motion that would result in a reserve fund being overfunded on the target set in the reserve fund policy, particularly related to regional transportation. Staff explained that the targets in the policy are minimum threshold limits, and when a reserve fund is overfunded, the board can decide how to best use those funds in the future, whether through lowering fees in the next budget or undertaking a project. The committee agreed with the recommendations for transfers, except for one regarding regional transportation, where consensus was not reached. They agreed to forward the motions included in the report to the board for its consideration. There being no further business, the meeting was adjourned at 12:55 p.m. I move that the board receive the report of the Finance Committee dated December 17th, 2025.
Second.
Len Faulkner.
Any discussion? No discussion? Ready for the question? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. Thank you. Now we'll move on to motions for reserve transfers, and we have 8. We'll do one at a time. Director Corey, please.
And I believe it's noted in here that these are administrative decisions and require a simple majority to pass. I'll read each of the motions separately, and they'll be voted on separately. Be it resolved that the Capital Region Service Commission transfer a total of $30,000 from the Cooperative and Regional Planning Services Operating Fund to the Cooperative and Regional Planning Services Operating Reserve Fund.
Second, Marty Forsyth.
Any discussion? Ready for the question?
Oh, we have a second down here.
All those, pardon me, yeah,
Question for
Yeah.
discussion, please.
yes.
I'm curious if the amount is supported. Sorry, bias may not be relevant here, but for regional subcommittee, I'm just curious as to why we're going above the minimum, and why it was recommended, and what our options are if we do not increase the reserve.
I would ask our staff member, Mary Kay Lincoln, to answer that, please.
Thank you, Madam Chair. The reason that we recommended going above the minimum target set in the reserve policy is it is a minimum target. It's not a maximum. We can go over that if the board was to choose. And it also provides the most flexibility for the board to use those funds in the future. So they could access those in 2026 if they so choose to make a motion to take it out of reserve fund. If no motion is passed to put it into a reserve fund today, it would come automatically into the 2027 second previous year surplus.
We'll follow up if you please. So that's the consequence. And if we needed the money but didn't have it in the reserve fund, what would the options be for the board in that case?
Through you, Madam Chair, we would have to source the funding from some other source or wait until the funds actually came in or generate a deficit in the operating fund in order to pay for something that we did not have the funds.
Do you have an opinion as to which one of those paths best reflects good governance?
Through you, Madam Chair, I would always err on the side of putting funds aside into a reserve fund so that they are available, as it does give the most flexibility, and the board has full control over that, as every reserve fund has to be withdrawal from a reserve fund has to be by board motion. So that would be my recommendation.
last question, I promise, on this topic. Just trying to think how to phrase this. I think it's important to have a realistic understanding of, that we're going to spend the money, because otherwise I would default to give it back to the residents or, put it back in reserve for moving forward. In the governance examples I'm familiar with in the city, these would be accompanied by a motion from the relevant subcommittee saying that we have a realistic expectation of needing this, because the board as a whole may not have that understanding, may not have received that information. Anyway, but that's just a comment, not so much a question. Thank you for your responses.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Yes,
Just a couple, on that, there was a considerable discussion at the committee level as to all of these motions. And there are two factors that are involved, I believe, in almost all of the motions, and that is, one is the Regional Services Support Fund funding is often wrapped in here in some of that as well. So those are 50-cent dollars in some cases that we're dealing with. And the fact that there are situations where we don't know exactly what can happen this year. We always should. Good planning should always take us there, but we are in positions in some areas that we don't know. And the third area of discussion was around the fact that we will have a new board sitting at this table as well in 2026. And if nothing is done, the funds go into reserve in 2027. So, or into surplus in 2027. So,
thank you. Any further discussion? No. Ready for the question?
Question.
And those that are online can just put your hand up if you like. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Nay.
Okay.
We have one nay? Two. Okay, two. Okay, and that's recorded. But motion is passed. Thank you. Your second motion, please.
be it resolved that the Capital Region Service Commission transfer a total of 40,000 from the Local Planning Services Operating Fund to the Local Planning Services Operating Reserve Fund.
Second by,
Mary Corson.
any discussion? No discussion? Ready for the question?
On this, is this local, does everyone vote?
No. Local planning?
Passed, everyone has
Yes.
voted on this motion. Yes.
Oh, okay.
Because it's a financial.
Okay, yes, everyone's going to vote. Yeah. Okay, ready for the question? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? We have one. Okay. Motion's passed. Thank you. Your next motion, please. Third one.
Be it resolved that the Capital Region Service Commission with my glasses, transfer a total of $1,150,000 from the Solid Waste Operating Fund to the Solid Waste Services Capital Reserve Fund.
Second by,
Marty Forsythe.
any discussion? No discussion? Ready for the question? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. Thank you. Your fourth motion?
No one opposed here?
No, no. Sorry, Kelly, that's too fast. Okay, your fourth motion, please.
Be it resolved that the Capital Region Service Commission transfer a total of $50,000 from Solid Waste Services Operating Fund to the Solid Waste Services Operating Reserve Fund.
Second, Marty Forsythe.
Any discussion? No discussion? Ready for the question? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion's carried. Your fifth motion, please.
Be it resolved that the Capital Region Service Commission transfer a total of $70,000 from the Generation Facility Operating Fund to the Generation Facility Capital Reserve Fund.
Second, Marty Forsyth.
Any discussion? No discussion? Ready for the question? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. Thank you. Sixth motion, please.
Be it resolved that the Capital Region Service Commission establish a tourism promotion operating reserve fund and transfer a total of $12,000 from the tourism promotion operating fund to the tourism promotion operating reserve fund. So there are two items in this motion: establishment of the fund and the transfer of $12,000 to the fund.
Do you have a
Marty
seconder?
Forsyth.
Any discussion? No discussion? Ready for the question? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Anybody on the screen opposed, Kelly? No, so we just have one. So motion is carried. Your seventh motion, please.
Be it resolved that the Capital Region Service Commission transfer a total of $15,000 from the Regional Transportation Services Operating Fund to the Regional Transportation Services Operating Reserve Fund.
Second, Marty Forsyth.
Any discussion? Yes,
Just like to add that this fund is significantly overfunded according to, well, not overfunded, funded above our minimum as recommended. And that occurred by having a situation where in the first year we were given a budget and we were not able to use that budget. So at that time, we transferred 121,000 approximately into the operating reserve fund. The following year, we also had a reserve or a surplus of 20,000 that we transferred into that fund. So the fund currently sits at approximately 141,000. And this year, this motion puts an additional $15,000 into that fund. And the options are the same as before. If we put it in, it stays in there and we have the option to use it in the future. If we put it into surplus, it goes to the 2027 budget automatically, but it's only the 15,000 that we're talking about in this case.
thank you. Was there someone on the screen, Kelly, that had their hand up? No? No, okay. No further discussion, ready for the question? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Nay.
We have two.
Director Erickson and Director Fox. Thank you.
Thank you, motion passed. And your last motion, please.
Be it resolved, the Capital Region Service Commission establish a sport, recreation, and cultural infrastructure operating reserve fund and transfer a total of $25,000 from the Sport, Recreation, and Cultural Infrastructure Operating Fund to the Sport, Recreation, and Cultural Infrastructure Operating Reserve Fund. Again, two items within the motion: create the fund and to fund the $25,000.
Any discussion? No discussion, ready for the question? All those in favor?
Aye.
Did you have a seconder?
I'll second, Marty Forsyth.
Yeah, we did.
I just did. Did we do this one?
So no further discussion, ready for the question? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Nay.
The two. So motion is passed. Thank you, Director Corey.
Did we do that? This
We,
one?
we have
Yes.
public safety
Yep.
one too.
We did the public safety one? I thought we did.
Excuse me.
That's second up the last. We skipped,
We skipped.
transportation straight to Fort Rec.
Oh, so that's what I spoke to. Did we not do the motion? I did the motion.
No, the one in between transportation and sport recreation. I don't think we did that.
Number 5?
Chair, I think we had two sets of packages in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Oh,
think that was an older package and we had scratched that.
I'm good.
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
oh, you had me words there for that, but I missed that.
I was just reading.
Okay, thank you very much, Director Corey.
So, Madam Chair, so the public safety committee that's discussed digital one. I like scratching.
Okay, so now we're gonna go on to number 6, resolutions. Next meeting date, we have a motion on the floor and I would ask Director Forsythe to read it, please.
Resolution be resolved that pursuant to section 5.2 of the Capital Region Service Commission procedural bylaw that the meetings of the Board of Directors for 2026 be as follows. February 3rd, March 3rd, April 7th, May 5th, June 2nd, September 1st, October 6th, November 3rd, and December 5th. So moved.
Could I have a seconder,
I'll
please?
second it. I'll tell or not.
Okay, any discussion? Yes,
It may or may not be relevant, but it is a meeting issue. And somewhere I will make the recommendation that with future closed meetings of the board, that after the board goes into closure, the chair should provide the opportunity for participants to be aware of what will be discussed and to challenge the closed session if needed.
so noted. Yes, thank you. Okay, nothing further. All those in favor? Any opposed? Motion's carried. Thank you, Director Forsythe.
Did we have a second? Not-
Yes, we did. Yes. Yeah, so now I need a motion to adjourn,
I'll tell or not.
second by,
Glenn Colkin.
meeting's adjourned. Thank you.